right, hello, and welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging. We are playing Delta Green, continuing our Impossible Landscapes campaign, and not only that, but we are reaching the midway point of that campaign. As tonight, come hell or high water, we will reach the finale of Part Two. Part Two is a volume of secret faces, is like sort of the subtitle, and we will get to the end tonight. We are very close. So somewhere probably between maybe 2 and 3 and 4 or 5 hours, something like that. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it's fine. Anyway, but looks like we almost have a hype train going already. So thank you for those of you who have been throwing out your Prime subs. We really do appreciate that, and throwing out the bits. This is like, what is this? Is everyone? I think everyone's like nervous and sad, like from the side of the players, like, oh, we're gonna die. Well, yeah, probably. But before we get into all that. A couple of other things we do here. We stream on Mondays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Mondays, we alternate between Alien and Ultraviolet Grasslands, which will be this coming Monday. We also play on Fridays as our normal Delta Green night, though in between each part, we kind of do a little one shot or two just to reset the batteries. And so we'll be doing something else next week. Delta Green will be back for part 3 in probably about 2, maybe 3 weeks. So we're going to take a very short break so I can just basically prep part 3. So I can kind of review everything that we've done in part 2, carry that over into part 3, and kind of finalize some prep. And then we've got a new game starting up, not tomorrow, but on September 4th, Saturday. We are going to be playing some Blades in the Dark. So you can come check us out on Saturdays at 6 Central. All right. So with that out of the way, I guess let's go ahead and introduce characters. We're all Delta Green fans here. That's another thing I should mention, by the way, is Delta Green's got a Kickstarter going on. This isn't like official. I just really like Delta Green. So go ahead and check out their Kickstarter. It's like this. It's called Delta Green Conspiracy. It's like a Melissa's already. Look at that, Melissa, with the Nightbot commands, even faster than me. But yeah, go check it out. Delta Green Conspiracy. Lots of stuff's has been unlocked at this point. It's making a ton of money. There's all sorts of good stuff in it. It's really just a matter of like how much money am I going to spend at this point, and whether or not I want to get all of the physical copies. But you're looking at like old lore, old content. You're looking at like scenarios being updated and operations being updated for like new Delta Green. So lots of really, really cool stuff. So I think all the plugs are out of the way. Let's go ahead and do some introductions, shall we? So just to say who you are. Maybe say what you're going to miss about your character in part 3. Maybe when they inevitably probably go insane or die tonight. So Ashley, starting with you. Who are you?
I am playing Agent Chelsea. She already misses this because she's already lost it, but her ghost hunting like crew of friends, that's one of her regrets. Also just living in general and maybe being on the human plane of existence because I'm pretty sure I'm in Carcosa. So but yeah, that's me.
I totally forgot about the Ghost Hunter thing. That's funny that you mentioned it because of the
You sent
email,
me the
the
Ghost Hunter
message I sent you earlier today. Yeah, game we're looking at Bionics Path. It's World of Darkness Ghost Hunter stuff. I got the PDF for the backers today, so that'll come to the stream at some point. Not sure when, but we're gonna
I'm so
definitely do that at
excited.
some point. Keep it going. Long, who are you, and what are you gonna miss about your character when I make them go away tonight?
Yeah, I'm playing Agent Vessel, and the thing I'm gonna miss the most is my sanity.
Yeah. It's pretty grim for everybody, I think. I think we're
Long
very,
or
very
Vessel?
low. Well,
A little bit of both.
Or both.
I think Long has got a very strong mental makeup as a person. I'm just checking how much sand you currently have. You've got 22.
Mhm.
22 sand. Okay. Okay. That's a shame. That's a shame. All right. Bottom row, we got Derek.
Yes, I play Agent Album, and I think the thing I will miss the most is not having Dane Bramage after my meeting with Ed.
Yeah, it was kind of a rough meeting you had. Group therapy did not go well for everybody, and Album kind of got dragged away and got the worst of it. Sure. And finally, Melissa, who are you?
So I play Agent Fawn. She used to work for the National Park Service. Um, so I guess the great outdoor spaces is what she'll miss.
Okay. These were really some inspired answers. Some real inspired answers. Okay, so let's dive into
Long
the
had the most
summary.
accurate answer for everyone. As
Everyone's
far as I
very.
agree.
I feel like everyone's a little on edge. Everyone calm down. Everyone calm down. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Making characters in Delta Green is really fun.
Do
So
you
we just
think
make sure.
group therapy would have like chilled us out a little bit,
Mhm.
but it had the opposite effect?
See, that's the problem. I am not a licensed therapist, so I'm married to one, but that doesn't really afford me any kind of expertise or anything like that. So, but yeah. Okay, so let's dive into the quick summary here. I'm not gonna do. I almost feel like we should do like the supernatural thing, and it's like the season finale, and we do like a big old summary at the very beginning of like everything that happened this season. So I'm gonna see if I can hit the high points. So it's 2015. You all are in your 50s. Sometimes I think we forget that, but you're all in your 50s. And you all, after a 20-year gap between working with each other, you all were called via a birthday invitation to someone named Richard Ziloni to Boston to meet with your handler, Agent Exeter. Agent Exeter put you on on an operation called India Moon, and it was about 4 missing patients slash agents from the nearby Dorchester mental facility. And you all began your investigation, but right off the bat, some things were kind of irking you, including your handler. So there was a lot of early investigation into him, and that proceeded to land both Chelsea and Album in some hot water, as I should say, in Fawn a little bit too. Like there's some hot water that was kind of going on there, where some people went to jail. There was also this weird situation where Chelsea was kind of gotten out of jail by possibly a demon lawyer, and all of you began kind of seeing some weird things. You found this hotel room in the Boxer Hotel that wasn't there earlier in the day. You started exploring it a bit. It was it sort of had like a haunted feel in a way, as if stuff just kept happening there, or something happening there in some way. So you yeah, your investigation, which seemed just like a simple missing persons to some degree, as we know in Delta Green, nothing is that simple. Eventually, you turned your attention back towards the Dorchester, and you a couple of you, I think it was Vessel and Fawn, you found your way to the chief nurse, the head nurse, Esther Simagina, her household. Inside that household, you found all sorts of bizarre things, from this massive cardboard model of a city to some kind of weird scrapbook to what looks like the dead body of someone who had been kind of dissolved partially in a bathtub and then pushed into a mirror. Vessel, you swam through a mirror and managed to pop out a completely different mirror and found your way into the Dorchester. Whereas Fawn, you ran into Nurse Samagina, and suddenly the whole place went up in flames. And as you were escaping, you saw some figure in this cloak that was not being burned at all by the flames. Chelsea, Album, you all were already in the Dorchester, and one by one, for different ways and different reasons, all of you found your way waking up in the Dorchester Medical Facility, but not as Delta Green agents, as patients. And how long has this been going on? How long have you been patients here? Who knows? As you started exploring the halls, different things happened. Weird experiences. Fawn encountered the Clockwork Child once more. She's seen vague visions of them before, and was given a note that was intended for Ian DeCraig, some kind of invitation to a masquerade ball. You also encountered a woman who allowed you to communicate with your sister through like an old-timey television radio set. And either your sister might be dead or in some place called Carcosa. You're not sure. The rest of you were looking for Dr. Dallin's office. You eventually found it, discovered that things did not make sense. There was a door on the exterior wall that shouldn't be there. When Album explored it, it just took you to extra rooms and passageways and hallways, endlessly exploring, it seems, the Dorchester facility. I think it was Vessel who noticed outside an impossibly tall like minaret tower of some kind that shouldn't have been there. Now you've looked out this window before, and it wasn't there. I think it was Fawn in Chelsea. You started digging through like the library books on the shelves of Dr. Dallon's office, only to find that there were layers and layers and layers, and you eventually dug your way to some grand library, within which you found kind of a strange book that referenced Seer Inc., the company that manufactured a cell phone, this satellite phone that you all were given that had rocks and dirt inside of it, yet was still functional and allowed you to call for a lawyer to help out Chelsea. And yet, in the fictional examples within this mental illness in the workplace, the only reference to any kind of company was to Seer Inc. You also encountered some crazy tiger-like creature that was made from soggy books and rusted metal that nearly killed Fawn. You all escaped and then were immediately taken into custody or brought to group by Nurse Ed, by Dr. Maximo Friend, and by several orderlies. At group, you were asked a series of questions along with some other NPCs. We saw Timothy Bale. We saw a Mr. Wild. We saw Gary Topchick. You even saw some people from the McAllister building 20 years ago, but living, apparently. You all were asked kind of probing questions. Dr. Friend seemed particularly interested in kind of pushing buttons and trying to get to the bottom, get some information about the King in Yellow and various other aspects surrounding it. And during that group therapy, it looks like Album said a few things that set off Dr. Friend, and Album was eventually dragged away, roughly, by Nurse Ed. And shortly thereafter, so was Chelsea. So, let's begin, as that's essentially where we left off. So we're going to begin with Album. So Album, you're kind of dragged through a few halls, like kicking and, I'm not sure if you're kicking and screaming, but like any sort of attempts that you make to kind of break the like the hold that this orderly, this Nurse Ed has on you are ineffectual, right? He's just incredibly strong, and there's also another orderly nearby that's kind of flanking you. But eventually, you hear a door swing wide open, and you're kind of thrown inside to a room that looks to be lit only by a handful of like electrical lamps. And as your eyes begin to adjust and you start seeing the light all over, you have a moment of deja vu where you think for a minute, are you back in Abigail Wright's apartment? Because that's what this place looks like. There's trash, there's strange belongings, there's images, there's items that have been adhered to various places in the wall. Mostly, though, it seems like papers and things, binders, that kind of stuff. You see strings that are drawn, like these yellow pieces of yarn that are drawn from one pinpoint to another, and you hear like kind of a fidgetiness going on somewhere inside the room, like a shuffling of papers. You hear kind of someone periodically mumbling to yourself. And when your eyes finally adjust, you look up and you see a person who doesn't look all that dissimilar to you, but looks very malnourished since the last time that you saw him, probably around 20 years ago. You see his like kind of sunken eyes, crazy eyes darting left and right as the light from these electrical lamps are bouncing off of his irises, and he seems to be trying to figure something out, trying to calculate, constantly kind of tapping the side of his face. You see Matthew Lancet, your brother, sifting through paperwork. You see that along the wall, where a lot of these things have been adhered, there's chemical formulae, there's receipts, there's these long printouts on old-fashioned dot matrix-like printer, which constantly connects to one another, as opposed to individual pages. Chemical compositions, and you can see that your brother is just moving like a hummingbird from one section to another. The door slams closed. The lights kind of come up just a little bit. and you are in here by yourself with your brother. You notice on one wall, the only wall that doesn't seem to have stuff that's either pinned or taped or glued to it, there's a long mirror, and it just reflects the room.
And I'm assuming Matthew's not taking any notice to the door slamming or me being pushed in or thrown in, whatever Ed
hasn't responded. And Ed is no longer in the room, so it's just you. You got kind of thrown in here, and that's about it.
Okay. But yeah, so if I can tell right off the bat from where I'm at that that's my brother, then Alvin would call out like, Matthew?
You see, now he kind of suddenly recognizes, and his head shifts and looks, and he kind of looks at you, squinting a bit, like he couldn't quite. Who? Oh, okay. You're finally here. Okay.
What? Deep breath. What? When did you? How long have you been here? I haven't seen you for 20 years.
I don't know. Time flies, as they say. There's no time for that, though. I'm so close. I'm so
close to
very
what?
Close. Finding it. There's something that the sample you gave me. There was something in it. Something. And he just kind of trails up. But then, yes. And he starts shuffling over, and he like yanks a piece of paper off, and he's kind of reading, and he looks at it. Yes. This is the one. And he kind of shuffles over to you and just pushes it right into your chest and doesn't really like wait for you to grab it. Just lets go once he leaves it there. Yes. You remember your chemistry, right? You can, whatever the markers, and you can see he's looking around, and eventually he just finds what looks like pieces of some kind of charcoal chalk. And he's, map it. You'll see. Map it. Go ahead. Everything. And he gives you like this sort of chemical equation. He seems to be asking you to kind of like molecularly map out like these various bonds and elements. And he's just sort of staring at you. Come on.
Okay. Is this important right now?
It's important. Yes, of course it's important. What's wrong with you? This is everything. This right here. It's the key, right? It's the signal that that calls to us, that lets us know that there's more. That is more. And now we just need to use that key and find the more, right? Go.
In a rare moment, Album's just gonna like drop the piece of paper and like try to like embrace Matthew like in a hug.
And he's just, like, what?
And Album's just gonna say like, I never meant to drag you into this. I'm sorry.
No. Thank you. You've opened doors. You've opened the world to me.
This was never meant for us, and some doors shouldn't be open, Matthew. Surely you have to had thought that thought at one point.
No. I mean, at first I thought, what are you wasting my time with? Of course, but no. Whether through providence, whether through random allocation of events, whatever it is, we have found something extraordinary. Now get your hands off me. He's like kind of pushing them off. What's wrong with you? We've never hugged in our lives.
Is not. Well, whatever we found is not something that we can control, and I think is controlling us. Haven't you wondered why you haven't seen anybody or anything for who knows how long?
Immaterial.
You're a slave to whatever this is.
Oh, you're so You're so very wrong. Enlightenment is so near. It's so very close. Just draw it. Just do it. Just do it. You'll see. You'll see. You'll see. You'll see what I mean.
Album has a feeling he knows what he's about to draw. So I guess he'll try and do the equation and see what.
Yeah.
I have a feeling it's going to make the yellow sign.
And it's exactly what you think. Like you just you just kind of draw, and you can see where the angles are. Like you're kind of drawing these various lines here and this geometrical pattern.
Album will complete it once he has enough of it to like recognize, just because he's getting like sick of it. So he'll leave it unfinished to see how Matthew reacts.
Never finish your work. Never did anything.
I know what this is. I don't need to finish it.
He kind of wanders over and he does it himself. Just like when we were children. Just like when we were children. You could never finish your work. I had to do everything. And he just like starts mumbling. And that's when you hear like a small like crackling of a microphone, and the overhead, like from a speaker somewhere, you hear Dr. Maximo friend's voice. Ah, what a very heartwarming family reunion. Yes.
Sorry, who is this? I'm going through a tunnel. I can't hear you.
You hear just like a heavy breath comes out. You are a very insufferable man. Why you were chosen, I do not know. But
oh, that's simple. I'm the chosen one. What can I do for you?
Goodness, Ed, please, could you do something? And you hear like the door creak back open, and Ed comes back in and just backhands you really fast. Just
okay.
Nothing like, not like a full-on punch, just sort of an open-handed backhand. You kind of stumble around, and we're gonna switch. We're gonna move over while you're stumbling to Chelsea, who's stumbling through the halls as well. Her feet kind of kicking as she's being dragged, sort of, not too roughly. But you see that there's one orderly that's kind of carrying you, dragging you. There's another orderly that's out in front. You hear keys clinking, and you see a strange room up ahead, kind of peculiar looking door. You see green paint, very bright, like big star on it. And you go inside, and it's like some kind of sort of exam room. You see a gurney, you see a countertop, kind of these sterile containers for various medical equipment, cotton balls, Q-tips, things like that. And eventually you're strapped down onto a gurney. And like the orderlies don't say anything to you whatsoever, and you're just strapped down, arms, legs, and then another strap kind of over top of, like, one strap goes over top of like your shins. Your ankles still are kind of strapped in, another one across your belly, and then your arms are strapped down, and you are completely immobile, and you're just left alone for like, you're not sure how long. After a few minutes, the lights overhead, like these old fluorescent lights, begin to flicker, and you can see that at a certain point the door opens, and in walks Dr. Maximo Friend.
Okay.
And you can see that he's carrying something. You can see he's carrying this old-fashioned hypodermic syringe, and it's enormous, almost comically large. Like it's quite big. You can see it's empty, but the plunger is fully pressed. And he comes up and he just sort of pats you on the shoulder with his free hand, and he says, "This will only take a moment." And he slowly leans over top of your face and begins to carefully insert the needle in your left eye socket.
That's disgusting. Okay.
And he's like, just breathe, just breathe.
Just like that scene from Dead Space 2.
A little
It
bit.
will be over in a moment. Breathe and breathe. Do not think about it. And this syringe is so large that you can actually see it with your other eye. Like you can kind of see.
Oh my god.
And as it's happening, you can see he begins to pull the plunger back slowly. He's humming something. And you can see that it doesn't look like it's blood that's coming out. Like the viscosity doesn't seem right.
Uh-huh.
It's red, but it's like a liquid-like oil. It comes sloshing around. There's a brightness to it that blood does not have. Go ahead and roll sand.
Okay. Crit success, Jeff.
Excellent. Okay. Take 1 point of sand because you take minimum. The minimum
Yep.
is 1, so take 1 point from helplessness.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so the absolute minimum you can take here is from helplessness.
Yeah.
And you see he holds the syringe up, and it's full. It's completely full with this bright red liquid that's kind of sloshing around here and there. Very good. Very good. And he walks to the door, opens it up, and you can see he turns to one of the orderlies. It might be Ed, it might not. You're not sure. You're having trouble kind of getting your vision to readjust. But you overhear him with your alertness. You hear him say, the patso is extremely potent. And then he turns back to you and says, I will return in a moment.
The what is extremely potent?
Patsu.
Patsu.
And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to switch over. And we are once again in the cotton candy room, the group therapy room. And we see Fawn and Vessel sitting in their chairs. The room is mostly empty, with the exception of one other individual. The man who was introduced as Mr. Wild. And I will show him to you in case you have forgotten what he looks like. But he is a fairly large man, and he is clearly disfigured. You look at his ears and you realize that his ears are some sort of fake prosthetic. He's got what looks like maybe burn marks over his skin, this sort of yellow complexion. His head sort of slightly deformed, like it's not in a normal oval shape. And he's got and he just sort of has this air of danger about him. And he's the one who, when Dr. Friend was asking him questions, was a very short answer, like 1-2 words. And he looks over at you, and he just says, your friend should have been more respectful.
What happens now? What do they do? Go.
Nothing good. Don't get me wrong. I don't care for Dr. Friend, but that wasn't very smart. You two look like smart people.
What do smart people do here?
Well, that's a good question. We bide our time. We dedicate our attention to what we can do and what we're supposed to do. I don't think we've been properly introduced before. I'm Mr. Wild. And he extends like this ugly, meaty hand, and it's got the same sort of scars on it that you see on his face. He just reaches out to either of you.
Rabbit. I'm Vessel. This is Fawn.
Nice to meet you. Well, not, but
Both of you roll alert tests. I know you're very high, but I still just want to
Crit
roll.
suck.
Fail for me, 73 over 36.
You notice, Vessel, that he's got a notebook sitting next to him on a different chair, and it looks very familiar to you. And you seem to recall it was likely carried by one of the individuals that you had met previously, an Ed Myler Weist. And he just looks at you and he says, well, for me, I repair reputations, let's say. I can help you, I suppose. I might even be able to help your friend. But my services don't come free.
What is it that you're after?
Well, what I'm after and what I require in exchange for my services aren't the same thing. Let's just say there are tasks I might need completed that you might be able to complete. And in return, I can help the two of you and your friends find a way out of here. I presume that's what you want. He's very slow to speak, careful with his words.
Well, you're one of the few people here that's made the most sense. But I can't help to notice that book you're holding on to. I feel like I've seen it before.
It's just a notebook. Just a notebook. Never seen one before?
Well, I have maybe even the same exact one.
Yeah, I mean, and you can tell, like, your alertness is so high. Like, you pick out, like a corner that's bent in such a way, or, like, a random, like, grouping of scratch marks that kind of looks almost like an image. It's not, but, like, it's easy to depict it. But, yeah, he kind of pauses, like, very, very carefully, and he looks at you and he says, it's a tool, let's say, for some of the work I do. I'll be honest, there are times when phrases and things show up in it, and I don't remember writing it. Sometimes I wake up and there's something new there. It's meant for me. I'm certain of that. But that's all I feel like saying.
Understandable.
If I could ask, is it not your goal to leave here? You indicated that you could find us a way out, but you are here and not out.
My purpose is different than yours.
Are you willing to share yours?
No.
Then how would we know that helping you achieve your purpose wouldn't be hurting our own?
Is your goal to get out of the hospital or not?
And Fawn will kind of look over at Vessel.
Yeah, I'd like to get out of here.
I can help with that. And I think that's all there is to it. But what happens later doesn't really matter, does it?
I have to ask you though, do you know anything about the radio? And the woman that helped me talk to my sister?
Okay. He thinks about that. Kind of a little bit left field for him. Dorothy. I know her.
How does she do that? Can I do that after I leave here?
Everyone gets different gifts. That was hers. What yours will be, I don't know.
Who gives us the gifts and why do we get the gifts?
Ma'am, I can help you leave. That's about all I'm willing to do.
Tell us more about what you need done.
Well, there's a few things. And there's a few different ways you can make payment. First, when you do get out, there's something I need you to do. And I'll know if you did it. It might not make sense to you. It doesn't have to make sense to you, and I don't care if it does. All you need to know is that it's payment for my help. There's a man in Boston, military man, by the name of Captain C. Hamilton Chester, U.S. Navy. You need to gain access to his encrypted military laptop. You need to decrypt it. You need to write down the third letter of the name of every file on the desktop without being discovered. And that's it.
That'll give us a message. Do we do anything with that?
The other thing I want you to do is I want you to arrange a fake tryst between two Boston residents that have never met. Constance Nelson and Lou Castaigne. You need to provide enough evidence that their spouses and the law think that there was some sort of impropriety. But this is important here. They can never meet. Of course, if either of you could find me an invitation, that would serve instead. We're going to go ahead and switch over to Album. So Album, you're like kind of recovering. Your chin is kind of throbbing a little bit. But eventually you hear the microphone kind of click on again. And you hear him just sort of starting to talk, and he's been asking questions. You realize, like, your head's kind of foggy maybe from getting hit too hard. And he's asking questions about your parents. Where did your parents meet, Benjamin and Matthew? Where did they fall in love?
I look at Matthew. Is he paying attention at all?
Not even of the slightest.
Okay. Album will give some vague answer, like, I don't really know. What kid pays attention to that?
So very disappointing. Always so disappointing you are. What do you know of your lineage? Who were, or from where were your grandparents? Where do they hail from?
Sir, I studied physics. I don't really know my family tree all that well.
So very infuriating, this one. We shall have to do something about that. Very, very, very much. Well, if you don't care about family, bid goodbye to your brother. And then you hear a squeak as the microphone gets that like kind of reverberation echo. The door opens up. You feel a big meaty paw on your shoulder as you're once again dragged out of the room. And your brother doesn't even look as you are dragged out, and the door is kind of slammed, and you no longer see him. You look up and you see it's Ed again. Nurse Ed. You don't see Dr. Maximo, friend. And you're like dragged down a hallway that gets like strangely smaller and smaller as you kind of pass. Like you can see almost like the ceilings are sloping downward, or the floor is sloping upward. The walls are kind of sloping inward. And you hear another heavy metal door, like a lever and a switch, all very echoey and mechanical, as a door swings wide and there's this big dark room, and you're just thrown in it, and the door closes. You're in there for a few minutes. Everything's quiet, dark, and then suddenly light opens up, and the entire room now is kind of coated in this sort of blue-gray shine from what looks like a very old TV set, something from like the 50s, something that is got like this wooden mahogany around the frame itself. And you can see that it's must be well taken care of. And as you're watching the screen, it shifts, there's static, and then you can see suddenly a news report comes on from New York, and it seems to be the morning that the McAllister building was destroyed. There's this lengthy news report. It takes about 10-15 minutes, pictures of the scene, interviews with various police officers, firefighters, onlookers, etc. There's people who are describing how like there were just people on the road and they just got taken completely off to the side, and over for like the next hour, 2, 3, 4, you're not even sure how long. It's just constant bombardment of just all of these news stories. And then 5 years later, looking back, speaking with the survivors of the kind of the neighboring buildings, speaking to the children or the spouses of those who might have been killed, or the family members, things like that. The heartbreak that they have for the brownstone bomber having never been caught, things like that. More documentaries on who is the brownstone bomber. All these long hours and hours you feel like you've been in here. Go ahead and roll Sam.
78. I failed.
Okay, go ahead and take 1 point from 1 point from helplessness.
I'm adapted to it, so
Okay.
does that make any difference?
Nope, you don't take any when you fail.
Okay,
So you take
just
the
double
minimum.
checking.
So it's a 0-1, so you're good. All right, we're gonna shift over to Chelsea. Chelsea, you're in here for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
You hear like a ticking. You think it might be a clock, but you look around, you don't see one. You hear a click, 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 clackety, clickety, clackety. You hear this like cacophony of clacks and clicks, like almost tap dancing, this like shaking of metal, like or wood just kind of smashing against one another, and you kind of get this vague memory of like something on the other side of the wall. You hear the door begin to bang as if someone's trying to get in, and you're still strapped there. There's nothing you can do about it. The lights flicker, and then suddenly it opens up. And there you see Dr. Friend kind of standing there. Mr. Ed shadowing him from behind. He said, if you wouldn't mind, I have some additional questions for you.
Would you mind unstrapping me?
Of course, but of course. Yes. And he kind of waves over Ed and he comes in, starts to unstrap you. Like, of course. So very my manners. So, and he pulls out his notes again. So, I want to get everything very precise here. Where was it that you found the play?
The McAllister building?
I see. And in what form did the play take?
It was a book.
Yes. Of what color?
Red?
Red. Very good. Now, when was this?
It was.
Are you if you're trying to remember the year, I can give you that. Like, but if you're trying to lie, that's different. So.
Yeah, I'm trying to lie.
Okay, go ahead. Roll. So if you don't want to give him like the specific details of roll a persuade.
Persuade. Okay. Oh, failure. So, she.
Do we have any rerolls?
I believe
We do.
Captain Karayan gave us a couple earlier.
Yep.
So we do have 2.
In case you want to use one, Ashley, you don't have to.
47.
Oh, nice. You got the
It's not
dodeca. There we go.
Terrible. I'll try. If I fail.
Okay. Oh, goodness.
Oh fuck! Even
Oh,
worse. I'm
worse.
not allowed.
Now
to
I
do
feel
that.
bad for suggesting that.
Chelsea. You are spinning fictions here. Very unnecessary. I am your
I've never
doctor.
had a needle
You
in
can
my
be
eye.
honest. Yes, that is
Uh,
can be
it's just-
disorienting.
It's
of
a
course.
little. Still, I'm not sure.
Of course. Let me ask you the question once more. You can see like the banners begin to unfurl behind him. The room begins to grow in size. The empty throne begins to rise next to him. When was the time you found the book, the play? Answer.
And she's sitting there and she's kind of thinking and she's still like rubbing at her eye. And she kind of looks at him and she's like, "Do you mind answering just one question first?"
The room just gets, he kind of grows a little bit in size. The dark, you critically failed. I don't think you're going to get anything from him. So it's really just are you going to answer him? You have one more chance, Miss Chelsea.
You know what? Fuck it. She does.
Okay. Excellent. And where's your book now?
It was in the police lockup, but then I think we got it back, but then I don't know if it was the right reality.
Don't be silly. Don't be silly. Well, I think that is all for today. Excellent session. And everything kind of dies back down. He gets up, he opens the door. You are free to go back to your room.
All right. Well, thank you for that.
Okay. Back to Fawn and Vessel. He's just kind of looking at you, Mr. Wild. You want my help or not?
Well, of course, this doesn't make any sense right now, but we'll do what we can.
All right. Let's go see Bale. Or do you want to get your friend first?
I think we would like for all four of us to leave.
The woman, she's fine.
We would prefer for all four of us to leave.
Okay. We can get him first instead. We'll call this a freebie. And he opens the door, and he kind of beckons for you all to follow. You notice that when he steps out, there's a cat right in the hallway. And it just hops right up, thump, thump, 2 big jumps, and it's right on his shoulder, and just kind of settles on. And he just kind of pets it ever so lightly. And you wander down the halls for a bit, and you can see that he pulls up next to what looks like some kind of orderly, kind of short, stocky, kind of a hair tied back and a ponytail, has a distraught look on his face, and is pushing a large cart. Vessel, that you've seen something like this before. And Mr. Wild holds a hand up to the two of you, don't come any closer. And there's a conversation that happens. You just watch them, the two of them, for a good 2-3 minutes talk. And at one point, Wild pulls out his book, writes something down, and then kind of nods and waves you as the guy he was speaking to begins pushing the cart down an intersection and away from you all. Your friend's in solitary.
Where is that?
Mean you can't get her out?
He no, that one's free. She's around here somewhere. Your other friend. Come with me. And he just starts wandering, a little. He's sensing he's getting a little bit frustrated. But he takes you down the hall, and eventually, Album, you hear a series of unlocking mechanisms as you are into what looks like a 17-year look back on the anniversary of the deaths at the McAllister building. When the door opens up, and you see a large, disfigured man with kind of waxy fake ears and burn marks on his face stand in front of you, silhouetted by the mundane light out in the hall. And you look up and you can see he's standing there, but you also notice, as your eyes adjust to the light coming in from the hallway, you can see that both Vessel and Fawn are standing out there. Now,
before my eyes adjust, if I see a big, large silhouette, Album's just going to let out a sigh and say, "What now, Ed? Did I breathe the wrong way?" Thinking that Wild is Ed because he isn't focused or whatnot.
Get up.
Album will stand up, rub his eyes.
Why do they have you in here?
I don't trust this doctor. He's trying to get something out of us, and well, I haven't been very cooperative, if you can't tell.
Well, yeah, I mean, we saw that earlier, but he can help us get out.
Okay, I'm game. Anything to take down this psychopath doctor.
Vessel, you notice something odd about Album. He seems to have a bit of like a 5 o'clock shadow going on that when you saw him in group wasn't really there. Like he's got a growth that isn't, as if he's been away longer than the maybe hour it's been since you've last seen him. He just seems like he's aged. Like it's been a day or 2 or 3 days. Very.
I'm now 60.
Yeah. He's reached the big 6-0. He's closing in on retirement. Switching over to Chell. Okay, if you have something you want to say, go for it, Long. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut too fast.
No, it's right. I was just gonna tell him he looks worse for wear.
What are you talking about?
You've been
Well,
growing.
Ed did smack me in the head. If you're talking about the bump or something, I don't know.
No, that scruff you've been growing. You look like you've been here for days.
Would I have noticed that on myself, Jeff?
I mean, until he said something about it, like you don't have a mirror or anything in front of you. So once you feel it, and now please roll a sand.
Okay.
Got him.
Thanks.
I
Long.
succeeded.
Teamwork.
Wow.
Okay, you're good. You're all good.
So he'll just be like, huh, so I guess this place got some time dilation going on.
Did I get into some Rogaine?
No, he understands. This is at least one area he understands. He's just like, yes, time dilation. It moves differently in this chamber I was sitting in being tortured with the TV.
So Chelsea, you're wandering through the halls a bit. What's your alertness?
34.
Okay, that's good. You start to notice something that you didn't see before. You notice that there's a lot of patients who are walking past you who have like bruised eyes and like their left eyes, and there's these large syringe marks right underneath them. And like every now and then you see like somebody fussing with it as they pass, and just messing with it ever so slightly. You pass by like a kind of a small window with a little bit of a reflective surface, and you look into it and you can see that your eye is fairly bruised, and you have a syringe mark like right underneath the left eye socket.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, that's gonna freak Chelsea out. She's gonna remember that he'd said something about Potsu, and she's gonna try and find somebody, or like she wants to find out what that means. Like, what is that?
Okay, so you start wandering. Roll a luck test.
Okie dokie. 46.
Okay, you stumble into a familiar face. It's a face you've met previously. You see the face of a disheveled, worn down old Asadera Bondi. Deborah Carva is not with him currently, but he looks up and he looks at you. There's a momentary sense where he doesn't recognize you, and then it sort of dawns. Oh, hello.
Hi. Asa, I have a very important question for you. Do you mind? Will you answer? What is Potsu?
It's what makes the world go round, I think. Yeah. Right? Yeah. He seems very pleased with himself with that answer. Yes. Exactly right. And yeah, what?
Whoa, could you expand on that?
Oh, no, I don't think I can. Anyhow, your friends are coming. And he just kind of
Okay.
pats you on the arm, and you look behind you, and you see coming down the hallway are Vessel, Album, Fawn, and what looks like the other man from group who had like the scarred face. And he kind of whispers to you, and he's like, "It might not have been a dream. First there was a boy, and then a girl, and then a boy, and then a girl, and then a boy, and then a girl, and a boy, and then a girl."
And Chelsea's gonna kind of like grab him by his shoulder and slam him against the wall and tell him, "You're right. It wasn't a dream. You did kill children."
I did. And you see him like just exhale. Like, I did. I did. You know, I had a very difficult upbringing myself. Isn't? Yes. My aunt, my mother, my aunt, my mother. It's a very difficult time for me. And you know what they say. When one's upbringing is not so good, then it carries down. I very much enjoyed making buildings, though. Something fun to it. Yes. Anyhow, where was my mind? Oh, I was going somewhere. Where was I going? And he's kind of like looking around, all just incredibly like out of his mind at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you have a good day. Yes, have a good night. Have a good life. He just starts to wander away at this point, like moving a bit, like bouncing into the walls here and there, rubbing where you had like kind of pushed him like roughly. Very rude. And then that's when the rest of them arrive.
Fawn will go over to Chelsea and kind of thumb over to Wild and say, "He's gonna get us out of here."
How? At what cost?
I was going to say, Adam at this point is going to say, yeah, under what's the catch? No one gets someone out of a nonsense place like this for free.
Oh, we just gotta do something for him. And I'll explain what has to be done.
Like a contract?
I mean, do you think someone's just gonna let us out for just out of the kindness of their heart? I mean, they're gonna have to do something in return.
Well, I suppose you're right. And we don't really have many options since we haven't found the door out of this place yet.
Chelsea's gonna look at Wild and be like, "What's Patsu?"
That wasn't part of the arrangement. Are we going?
What do I need to add on to the arrangement to know what Patsu is?
Ma'am, you have a lot of nerve for somebody who's offering to do you a favor. If you don't want my help, so be it. I have other things I can be doing.
No, we want your help.
I just had the largest, and she looks at Fawn as she says this, needle that got inserted into my eye. They're doing this to like everybody here.
Fawn will just sort of look to Wild and see if he's...
Are we helping the play or are we stopping it?
I would like to get somewhere where I'm not wearing slippers anymore. That is what I would like to do. He can help us with that. You don't have to come. You can stay if you want. I would like to go.
Okay. So he leads you on another 5-10 minute jaunt.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually you come to a room. He knocks like briefly and then opens the door in the process of knocking. And as the door opens up, you can see that it's a modest sized room, but you can see Timothy Bale is inside, sitting or squatting on top of a stack of what looks like waterlogged books. And next to him, there is this single old telephone. And you can see he's kind of pouring through his notebook, and periodically he's like picking up the phone, making calls here and there. Like as you walk in, you hear him saying like into the phone. He's like, "Yeah, the first is drawn in the apartment, and this opens the way for the party mask. Yep. No. It's in the mansion, but Lundin needs to build it first. So send Asa. Okay. Yep. And he looks up and he sees Wild and he kind of motions him forward. And Wild turns and he's just, wait here. And he steps into the room and kind of gets up nice and close. And the two of them kind of talk here and there. You sort of overhear little bits and pieces. But the main gist is that they said I told them that you can get them out. And he's like, Bale just nods a bit. He's like, okay, all right. Yeah, send him in. And he picks the phone up again. And goes to this really long. And he's like, got the phone to one ear. He's kind of waving in with the other, putting up a finger as you walk in. He's like, yeah. Yeah, Labilus. Yeah, he finds the box of papers soon. Yeah, tell her to take the radio from him and then put it on the wall. On the wall. On the wall. Yeah. Okay. And he kind of looks up. Hey, how's it going? So Wild says you want out.
Can you do that?
Yeah, I can do that. Sure, no problem. Yeah. Whoop,
You
1 second.
have a cost as well as he has a cost?
Don't worry about it. Wild says you're good, so you're good. We've got an arrangement. Don't worry about it. And he's like, 1 sec. Pulls the phone up. Gets on the phone. Yeah. Hey, yeah, it's me. Tell Ambrose to send the phone now. No, don't worry. He's got loads of them. It's fine. We'll just send another one. Okay. He kind of hangs the phone up at the point. Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can go. Yeah, no problem. Go ahead and everyone roll an alertness roll. Or search if you prefer, I guess.
Success 39.
It suck.
Success, 15 under.
Okay.
Search 7.
Okay. You can see, like, amidst all of the books here, there's, like, all sorts of different books. But you also see, like, he's got that same notebook that you saw, but it's kind of more elaborate. But it's got all those different seals and things in it, like original sketches here and there. He's got what looks like a copy of the Hydromantia. He's got what looks like the copy of the Ars Goetia. He looks like he's got copies of all of these different types of like classical demonology books here and there. Yeah, he's just, he doesn't really seem to care that they're out. He's got other books in here too. Some of them look like nothing. A couple of them look vaguely familiar. You see one that's like the Imperial Dynasty of America. Some of these odd other books that don't necessarily make too much sense to you. Is that one more call? 1 second. And he kind of gets the phone up. It's like, yeah, 20 children. Yeah, just leave them in the water. Okay. He hangs the phone up. All right. So,
Wait,
Once- Go ahead, Chelsea.
did you tell Asa to kill 20 children? Just right now? That was you?
Listen, don't worry about it. It's not what you think. Just calm down. It's not important. What's important is that we get you out of here. So let's go ahead and do that. So you said your goodbyes. You good? You say whatever friends you made while you're here. It's kind of a long walk. So
What's Patsu?
Well, I'll show you. How about that? I'll show you. Okay? It's hard to explain. It's probably better if you see. And we're going there anyways. Don't even worry about it.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So let's just get going.
One is looking at the other two, kind of just like wordlessly, just kind of shrugging, like, I hope we're making the right decision.
All right, so he starts leading you on a somewhat lengthy walk through, and he looks like he knows exactly where he's going. Like he gets to an intersection, four-way intersection, and at no point does he ever dally in the middle of one. He just makes a left, he makes a right, he goes straight. He never hesitates. Sets kind of a brisk pace. At no point does he really ever. It's not like he's avoiding conversation with you. He's never really kind of talking to you too much. But as you kind of turn the corner and you go down this hallway, you see there's this elderly patient that's kind of walking toward you. You see they're shuffling, and then they catch sight of you, and you can see that they just suddenly they stand upright where they were hunched over and old, and suddenly they're standing upright. They're kind of dirty face with all this hair, this white and gray hair kind of covering it, just kind of lights up, and they come kind of hurrying up to you, and Bale's like, oh jeez, okay, we don't really, okay, sunshine, we don't really got time. And they waddle up and they just kind of grab on to you all, grabbing on to each one of you, just kind of grabbing, and they're just sort of kind of bouncing, and they're trying to talk, but every time they speak, it's just sort of gibberish that's coming out, just utter gibberish. It's but they're earnestly trying to kind of communicate you with this jubilance. Okay.
You said there was two of them?
No, it's just one.
Oh, well.
Can Fawn just try to jump into a couple other languages just to see?
No, it's not a different language. It's literally, it's gibberish. You're confident.
Okay.
It's just nonsense. But they're very, very excited. All of you go ahead and roll int times 5.
Critical success 55.
Success.
Failure 86.
Okay.
Success 57 under.
All right. Those of you who succeeded, you get to, I mean, I hate to not be able to give you too much more than this, but you get a very, they're very familiar. There's something about them, and something about their eyes, something about their kind of their mannerisms, something is just intensely familiar to you, and they're trying to communicate something to you. But they're excited, they're jubilant. They're not but they're just having significant difficulty communicating it to you. Bale's looking over and he's just listen, we gotta go.
Fawn will just try to half-heartedly just sort of jump with the person just to share their excitement.
And they jump back, no problem, but it's just, they just look they just look absolutely just destroyed. And this is the type of patient that has probably spent the last 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years here, and they're just kind of covered in layers of just sadness and sort of despair, and this instantaneous moment of jubilation for some reason at you all. But Bale's just sitting there looking at you all
You said it was a female, right?
Yeah.
Album's just gonna just kind of throw it out there and be like, is your name Abigail?
And Bale just starts laughing. But the figure Sunshine, she just continues to laugh. She kind of shakes her head and just pours something else out in gibberish, and clinging to you all. And Bale's like, listen, there is a timing for this, okay? We got to be there when the gong goes off, all right? We can't come in late. And it's a whole longer wait. We got to go.
Fawn will sort of call back Evelyn.
No
I'm just gonna
recognition.
move on.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess we just gotta move.
Finally, someone of sense. Thank you. Okay, go ahead, Sunshine. Go. All right, good. That was fun. That was great. That was fun. That was great. But we gotta go. We gotta keep moving.
That wasn't me, was it?
No, they just looked familiar. Okay.
Ugh.
So you guys kind of keep traveling through, and he's just he just kind of turns back every now and then. He's like, "Say, yeah, you guys have had kind of a rough time of it, huh?" It's pretty rough. But
Do you know about the time we've had before we've been here?
yeah, I know bits and pieces. Like, it's never easy, when you live your life thinking, everything's one way, and then suddenly you realize everything you knew was false. That's rough. That's a rough realization. But like you got to take solace in the fact that you finally gained like a glimpse now, right? And how the world truly is. And that is not an easy bit of information to have. That does not sit well with most people. But kudos to you. You guys are on your feet, you're moving, you're walking,
Barely.
that's great. Just
Yeah,
remember,
I think it has more to do with the supernatural attacking us, and we're just humans.
Yeah, I think you're looking at it the wrong way. You're not. It's okay. You where you are right now, it'll come. Just remember a few things. Okay, just remember, the play. It's at the center, right? It's the center. Always remember that the play is the thing. All right. All people, events, places, things, all of it. Issues from the play. It's not the other way around. All right. Common misconception. So it's just, that, what's that thing? That snake, where it's like eating itself.
Ouroboros?
That's it. The Ouroboros. It's like that. It's just constantly like devouring itself. Vomiting, devouring, whatever. Was it vomit? I don't know. Anyway, if you haven't realized yet, you've all stumbled onto a bit of the truth, and whenever someone does, the king notices. The king has noticed you, so, and that's
Friend?
Oh God,
Nah.
that is good. I have not laughed that long. Oh God, no. Oh God, no.
Is he trying to find the king?
Yeah, that guy reeks of desperation. Don't worry about him. He's I got to tell you, and he points over at Album. I got a kick out of it. Like, I didn't understand, half what was going on and etc. But like, good on you. But yeah, where we're going, understand that it's just a stepping stone to getting out. When I say I'm helping you get out, there's a longer journey to getting out, because the only way that's out is through. All right, so I can get you out of here, okay? But that's not getting you out, right? If you want to get out, you got to go through. You got to go to Carcosa, and that's not somewhere that you can get from the hospital. Okay, like where hospitals, like it's like a fly trap, It's like it gathers like lost people, lost souls, things like that.
Kind of thing.
I mean, I don't really want to put like biblical such and such on it, but sure, something like that.
So
But
the radio goes to Carcosa. So if we go through Carcosa, then I could find my sister.
hey, whatever you need to tell yourself. Yeah, but the thing is just you got to get out of here to get back to what you thought, but now realize isn't the real world. And there, you can find a way to Carcosa. Now, I
Well,
can't.
if I understand anything of what you've explained, it sounds like we don't need to worry about this. If the play determines it, then it'll happen, won't it? You sound like you're talking determinism.
This is a guy, right? I'm telling you, this guy right here is just entertaining. He's just. I like the way you think, man. It's just in your head and it's just moving and it's cycling and you're thinking and you're analyzing. That's really good. That's really good. When the time is right, okay? And I'm not saying that's now, and I'm not saying that's tomorrow or the week from now or whenever, but when the time is right, reality will rearrange itself and you'll be able to make transit. Okay? It's, the phrase, what's the phrase? The stars align, that kind of thing. When the stars align, so to speak, you'll find a way over there. But first, we got to get you out of the hospital. I mean, that's step one. If we can't get you out of the hospital, none of that happens, right? I'm a friend. Look, I'm a friend. I know I don't... It's hard to trust people. I get it. I mean, I look at your faces. Look at you. You're paranoid. You're tired. I get it.
This doesn't make any sense.
Well, you'll get there. I mean, maybe that's a good thing. That isn't. I don't know. Like, I'm not a shrink. I don't really think about it too much. But let's just do one step at a time. Baby steps. Let's just get you out of the hospital, right? Okay.
And after we do the jobs, how do we tell you?
What jobs? Oh, for Wild. He's got his ways. Don't worry about it.
If we needed to talk to you, do we get back in the same way we did the first time?
I mean, if you want to talk to me again, give me a call. No, just kidding. But yeah. I mean, you can find me. I'm not like hiding or anything.
You make no sense.
Did you?
Bale, can you
Really?
say the phrase, what do you want, to me?
What do you want?
Would I be able to tell if that's the same voice I heard on the phone that we got?
It
Just
is
by
not.
having him. Okay.
Yeah. No, you would be able to learn that, but you do not. Yeah, you don't think it's him. You don't think it's the voice. Yeah. Ashley, were you gonna say something?
She's gonna look at him and be like, the hygromantasia,
That's not really how I prefer to pronounce it, but
however he says it, like
it's
the
fine.
correct
Don't worry about it.
pronunciation.
Don't worry about it. Yeah. What about it?
The blue notes. Bottles contain secrets as individual as those marked upon them. But what about the?
Okay. Yeah. You're getting ahead of yourself. We just talked about it. Baby steps. Reality will rearrange itself when the time is right. You gotta you can't just get it all at the same time. You do that, you might go crazy. You might go crazy. We don't want that to happen, right? Bits and pieces. You got a glimpse. That glimpse will become two glimpses or whatever's bigger than a glimpse. A gander. I don't know what's bigger than a gander. A look-see, something, and that gets bigger and bigger, and then eventually you want out, right? You want out. Then let's just get out. Let's just get out of here. I gotta prepare you though. It's not the easiest. It's not the easiest, and I'm not even gonna say it's not dangerous. This is dangerous. Just do what I say, and you'll be all right. Probably. Okay. Anyway, when we get in, there's not really gonna be a whole lot of time for questions. So if you've got anything else, now's the time.
When we first came into the room where he was, you described that there were some waterlogged books. Wasn't the paper mache dragon thing waterlogged books?
Well, no, you saw a lot of waterlogged books in the library, so. But you didn't see any signs of the paper tiger thingy.
Are you related to the Bale that's outside this hospital, but in the same hospital?
Hey, one and the same, pal. Outside, inside, you know. That Ouroboros thing, man. You know, the snake eating the snake, that kind of stuff.
Did we release
don't-
one of you from her apartment?
One of me? What the hell's that mean?
Well, we saw the announcement by the trumpet outside her window.
Oh, yeah. No, that's not me. That's not me.
But you are one of the 72 demons.
Not quite, but it's a little different than that. But sort of, yeah, sure. Not, I mean, like, don't think of it in those terms. And demon's kind of a weird word. But,
Are you also Solomon?
no,
Author
no,
of
no,
the
no.
book?
No, that's not me. Well, sorta. You know, but no, I'm not Solomon, no.
Okay.
One will just look at the other two like she's just completely lost and doesn't even know like what to ask, and she's just gonna look at Alvin and Bessel.
Have you
Just-
seen the yellow sign?
many times, friend. Yeah. It's,
What's with
It's
the
interesting.
marionettes?
well, that's a good question. When you get to Carcosa, you know, maybe you'll find some answers. Like I said, bits and pieces. There's certain things I can give you. There's certain things I can't. You know, that's kind of your cross to bear, though. Part of that. That's what you get. You got curious. You got curious.
So I get marionettes?
I mean, everyone gets something.
But
Just be,
what
just
about
be
the people
happy
that don't?
that you still have a chance to get out. I mean, there's people in this place. They're just spinning in circles. Could be you one day. Could be you. Just be careful.
That's what I mean, Bill. What about the people that don't choose to see the sign, that have been exposed to it? Do they just become batteries for whatever thing is causing all of this?
Batteries.
I don't know, energy, whatever you would refer to it as. Patsu.
Wasabi. No, wasabi. I could go for. It's been a while. It's been a while since I had some. No. It's not. It's just that some people make it through, some people don't, and if you don't, and then you're just kind of spinning at that point, just forever and ever or whatever, or until it stops. I don't know. You just spin and spin. You know what I mean? You just repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat. You got some fools like Dr. Friend, right? So damn desperate. And they ain't getting anywhere. They ain't getting in. They ain't going there. They ain't getting invited. Ain't no way.
He's spinning.
Sorta, yeah. Yeah, basically. Yeah, repeating, spin. We got different names for it, but don't worry about it. Listen, we gotta go. Okay? We gotta go. It's, it's just remember, you've drawn the attention, the gaze of the king. And that's on you guys, right? It's an occupational hazard. And drawing his gaze, drawing his attention is not something that goes away easily. And it's not something that, the feeble-minded, the simple brain, I don't know the phrase, can handle too well. Now, the four of you, you've made it this far. I can help you get out, and you can try to go a little farther. If you get through, you get out. Boom. Everything's great. But just remember, the play's the thing. The play's the thing. All right. I think I heard the gong. We gotta go. We gotta go in. And
I was
so
just
at
gonna
that,
turn and ask him, will we ever find Abigail?
I mean, I'm not like a fortune teller. We gotta go. We really do. We gotta go. And then you guys start hearing like the sound of a gong and applause from a nearby door. He's like, we gotta go. Go. Come on. And so he opens the door and he's like, come on. He's starting to whisper now. And he ushers you into this sort of somewhat intimate, darkened theater. And you can see as you're kind of being shuffled towards the front, like he's like, go, 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 first row, let's go. You can see that there's like this empty wooden stage. It's starkly lit. And he brings you all the way up to the front row, and you take a seat. And he's like, shh, 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 shh. And like as you're moving up, you can tell like there's like this really dark section of the theater. It's a bunch of faces. You know, there's maybe 50 other people in the audience somewhere, but they're blurs. Like when you're moving past and rushing towards the front row, like you didn't really get a good look. They were just blurs. And he just kind of sits you down. Okay. So, as you're up here, you can see off to the right, behind the curtain, you can see there's a child-sized clown. It's got this multicolored outfit. It's covered in triangles. And it has this clown mask that covers the whole head. There he is. It's Arisen. Start. I need you to roll Sand, Fawn. Because it's the exact same clown that you saw dancing in 1995 in Washington Square Park.
I failed 34 over 20.
Take 1 point of sand loss from the unnatural.
Chelsea whispers, "Is this the Patsu?"
He's like, shh, quiet. And you look around and you can see that there's no sign of like a pit, like an orchestra pit, but you nonetheless hear an orchestra begin to start playing this like looping, strange dirge with this relentless da-dum, da-dum, this drum that's just kind of continuing to move. And you guys watch as the clown is like dancing on the stage in this sort of precise but awkward timing that's exact with the music, and begins to lift this paper dragon from off stage. And this is when, like, very quietly, like, watch this here. And all of you notice, what's your alertness, Derek and Fawn?
71 for my alertness.
Okay.
36.
All right, all of you are fine. You all watch as the clown dances. There's this thin aerosol-like red mist that begins creeping up from the audience towards the stage. You look up and you just see it kind of moving above your head. You see it moving from like the sides, like past your ears and between each other. And you can see that the paper dragon is trailing behind the clown, and it's drawing these patterns in the air, cutting through the mist, and it seems like be absorbing it. Like, see, that's the Patsu. And Bale like leans over to you, Chelsea, as he's probably sitting next to you, will say, and he's like, you need to watch the dance. Wait for the end. Okay, I'll tell you when to move again. The clown has something we need, but we gotta wait. Just gotta wait. And then he starts like leading over to Chelsea, and he's like, I know you're frustrated. The dance, okay, it reflects the creation of the play, all right? And he's whispering all of this, like really careful, looking every now and then out of his eye up towards the clown. A person finds the bottle of the author in a cave and brings it to the author at a masquerade. The secret in the bottle tells the author how to write the play in which the author already exists. The clown is the king. The dragon is the yellow sign, and the stage is the world. All right? Now, in the dance, as he's kind of carefully gesturing with his hand, the king carves the world from our lives. The dance creates our world. The yellow sign eats the lives in the world to feed the king. Okay? Music's like going, loping. That weird dirge and the drum kind of keeps going. The mist keeps moving past you and above you, up into the top of the stage. The dragon keeps like loping around, absorbing it as he goes. The music rises to like this really high and sudden crescendo and then stops. The lights go out. It's pitch black. Almost. You look around briefly and you see the audience is gone. And Bale leans towards you, Chelsea, and everybody else too. And he says, "Okay, follow me." And he starts to creep up onto the stage.
Okay.
Do you all follow?
Yeah.
We'll do it.
Chelsea does.
Yeah, sure.
Right behind the curtain to the right, the clown is sprawled on the ground. Smaller now, okay? It actually looks at this distance like the size of an infant. The paper dragon that's next to it is just enormous in comparison, the contrast. And you also notice that despite like this darkness in the area, there's this whiteness of these two things that is basically glowing in the dark. You watch as Bale, like very carefully, again, moves up very slowly and quietly and carefully, reaches out and grabs the paper dragon and starts pulling it out onto the stage. Like every so often, like looking over towards the clown very carefully, and then pulling and pulling, pulling and pulling until it's all the way out on the stage itself. Fawn, you recognize this dragon, not just from the dance that you saw in Washington Park 20 years ago, but also it looks like one of those that the woman that you met, Cloris Gareth Vance, had kind of made up within her room that you tried to grab, that you tore open at one point. And you watch as he does the same thing you were trying to do, and he rips it open. And inside, you can see that there is a thermos-sized glass container that's filled with this deep red oil. Vessel, you recognize the container. It's the exact same containers, the canisters that you saw one of the orderlies slotted into a hole in the wall within the Dorchester behind a painting. And it would just kind of get air sucked right out into the wall. Chelsea, you recognize it, the liquid, as that which was drawn out of your eye into the syringe. Bale has the canister in his hand. He's like unscrewing it. He's like, "You wanted to know what the patsu is?" He's like super, super quietly to you, Chelsea. "The patsu is the way out." And then he takes a quick drink of the liquid, like downs it, and he hands it over to you, Chelsea. And then, like a photographic trick, poof, vanishes in front of your eyes. Everybody roll sand.
Oh, fuck.
Oh no.
37 failure over 19.
76 failed.
96 failed.
Also failed.
Everybody roll a d6 and take that much amount of sanity from the unnatural watching a man literally in front of you. Poof.
Oh.
One.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Oh, that is 4, which puts me at a breaking point.
Okay. Make a note of it. We'll address it later. Thank you, Karine. Karine just threw out some more rerolls. So you guys have some rerolls. Don't forget about that. Now, Chelsea, you're holding this container. As you do, you notice that it's growing lighter. As the liquid inside appears to vanish from top to bottom, almost like a delayed reaction from his drinking. Like it's just
Oh,
disappearing.
I'm gonna take a quick swig then.
No,
and
it's
pass
too
it.
late. By the time
is
by the
it?
time you notice it, it's like it's completely empty. Roll sand.
Crit fail.
Take 1 point of sanity damage from the unnatural. And you notice as it's kind of like doing this weird fluctuating thing, but as Chelsea is staring at this vessel and album, you notice behind as the clown starts to stand. You see as kind of cocks its head in the dark, and its head just whips its whole face over towards Chelsea, just staring directly at her, and begins to shuffle forward towards where she's standing on the stage. Chelsea, your skin just starts to crawl, right? Like there's probably never been in your life as kind of visceral of a terror, of like a deathly terror, like overwhelm you at this point, holding this bottle, staring over at this clown that's shuffling towards you bit by bit. Something about the perspective of the clown is not right. It was an infant. It was like this infant-sized clown. And it started to shuffle and move through the darkness of the stage towards you, glowing that bright white. And suddenly, as it emerges from behind the curtain, you can see that it's not the size of an infant. It's the size of a tall man. And it's coming for you. As you're looking around, like there's just darkness. You look towards back where the seats were, and you just see a black wall. There's no way out the way you came. And the clown continues to move in your direction. Everybody go ahead and roll alertness.
Oh my goodness. What's going on?
Success 17.
Success
Okay.
10.
All of you. It's okay. Chelsea, as you're like the clown's looking at you, you're looking at the clown, you're holding this canister in your hand, and you're feeling this like this weird kind of breathing pulsing as the liquid dips, and then it's like slowly starting to regrow and refill the canister in a strange way. The rest of you, you're desperately looking around as you can see like the color in Chelsea's skin has just gone away, and all of you are feeling that same sort of creepiness take over you, this fear, like this intenseness of that is danger, like that thing coming towards you and shuffling towards you. It doesn't want good things. But the three of you notice that to the left, you can see that the ceiling begins to lower. And you can see that there's this other darkened room that you can kind of climb up almost onto a lift. It seems even darker than the stage, but it's the only like place to go other than standing here and letting the clown get to you. What do you guys
Running
do?
away quickly.
I'll grab onto Chelsea and lead her into that
Okay.
direction.
Okay. So you climb up onto the lift. You get into the darkened room, and you can see as you get in there that off in the distance of the shadow, like the shadows, like this darkness, you can see that almost like a wall just begins to open up, and this little light bulb suddenly turns on, illuminating what looks like this sort of hidden door, not even a hidden door, but a hidden emptiness in the wall leading into what looks like more darkness. Meanwhile, this clown is coming at you, getting larger and larger with each moment.
Running.
Ashley, what would you like to do? You look down, you can see that the liquid is slowly forming and forming and forming.
I want to drink it.
Okay, roll a luck test.
84. Can I reroll luck?
I can't remember. I know we don't reroll Sam, but I think you can reroll luck. I can't remember.
I know
so,
we
yeah.
definitely don't reroll Sand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ugh,
Yeah, go ahead.
to you.
Okay.
I think you can if you want to. Yeah.
If you want to, you don't have to. Luck is, it's up to you. It's up to you.
14.
Okay. All right. So you. Okay. 1 second. I'm just reading something. All right. So all of you, as you're like shuffling towards this light bulb that's illuminating a cut in the wall, you watch as Chelsea like unscrews the cap and just and she tries to drink it. But as she does so, the clown's kind of reaching out right as she's as she's kind of standing up from the climbing that she did to get on top of this lift. Ashley, I need you to roll either athletics or dodge, whatever you prefer.
Please
What do I
roll
got?
well.
No promises.
This is an opposed test against the clown's art dance skill, which is 45.
Yeah, mine
Oh,
are
that's
all
terrible.
3.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Right as his hand reaches up to try to grab your ankle, like you see it just in time, and you slide your foot away, and you kind of descend further back onto this small platform, moving towards that light bulb that kind of leads the way forward, and you down this big swig of this patsu. Roll sand.
Failure.
Roll-
42.
Take 1d4 sand. So roll a d4.
1.
Okay. As you kind of put this down and you kind of shake your head off, you look off to the side, like almost behind the stage, like down into the left. You look at the clowns kind of reaching up, and you look past him, and you can see in this sort of raised, inaccessible area, you can see a man suddenly appear in a red robe that you recognize immediately as Dr. Barbas. And he seems to be carrying a box of red books, and he's moving rapidly past a suddenly lit window. And right as he leaves the frame of that window, the light tips off completely, and you no longer can see him. You feel like a hand, maybe it's Vessel, maybe it's Album, whoever it is pulling you, and you feel immediately like your molecules are sort of like reorganizing. You get this vague sense that whatever is happening, whatever happened to Bale is happening to you, and you're holding this canister. And you have this light. All of you see this light above this cut in the wall. What do you guys want to do? And the clown is still trying to climb up and is seeming to make progress.
And there's no way for us to get canisters.
You can see that she's holding one. And
Right.
again, Chelsea, you're the only one who saw what happened to the liquid on the inside. How it kind of dissipated and then grew back and dissipated and then grew back and dissipated and grew back, like it's fluctuating.
Chelsea will start mumbling. It'll be like a wave. It'll get more, and then one of you can take a drink. And she starts heading towards the light to get away.
Okay, what do you do with the canister?
I give it to
Whoever's pulling you up.
yeah. So I think
I need to
Vessel.
know. You got to tell me specifically. I'm
I
kind of
give it to
tracking
Ves-
stuff.
I give it to Vessel.
Okay, Vessel, make a Dex times 5. You want to re-roll that?
Failure.
We've got 4 rerolls.
Yeah, might as well.
Go ahead.
Gosh
Crit
darn
failure.
it.
The canister falls and starts rolling back towards the clown. Chelsea, you start moving back towards the light. You can feel again this weird sort of numbness begin to like wash over your entire body. Album and Fawn, you're kind of probably near the light bulb at this point. You can see that as you're looking through the doorway, this cut into this brick wall, You can see another door on the other side. This little dumbwaiter begins to open up, and you see a light bulb just go on about 40 feet ahead. If you were to move through this wall, you can kind of it's almost as if these little light bulbs are kind of lighting a path for you. Vessel, as you reach down to try to pick up the canister that you just dropped, the clown grabs your hand. What are you guys doing?
I'd like to break his grapple.
Okay. He's not grappled. He just kind of reaches out and kind of grabs your hand briefly, momentarily, almost like he just sort of touched you briefly, as if he's kind of feeling around for the canister itself.
Can I try and snatch the canister?
Yeah, I was gonna say I want to try and do the same if he's occupied with
Okay.
Vessel.
Go ahead and both of you roll Dex. Actually, Album, roll Dex times 5. Okay.
Success 63.
So as both Album and Chelsea reach towards the canister, their hands get kind of close, and then suddenly Chelsea disappears right in front of your eyes. Album, you're able to reach down, you're able to grab the canister. The clown pulls themselves up into the middle of this room now and is right in the face of both Vessel and Album. Off on the other side of the room, there is the lighted exit. As you're holding this canister now, Album, you can kind of see the liquid is just sort of rising and falling, like it's rising and falling and rising and falling. And as you're looking down, you kind of so this strangeness is happening. You start realizing there's light now coming down from above. You look up and you can see that the ceiling on top of you, which moments ago was just pitch and utter blackness, is now suddenly semi-transparent, and dozens of out of focus people are above you, circling and circling, dancing to some kind of waltz. Meanwhile, this clown is right next to you. You have a lighted escape path, the only path, it's like a puzzle box, opening little door by little door, room to room. Chelsea has just disappeared. What do you all want to do?
Well, would it be safe to assume that Album would be able to work out Chelsea's wave analogy, and that he also needs to drink? And it seems like when she drank it, she left. So would he be able to work that out and just wait for his shot to take a drink?
Absolutely.
Okay. So he's gonna run away from the clown into the furthest that he can, but he's also gonna call out to the other two, we need to take a drink from this, but we have to time it right because the liquid doesn't obey normal liquid physics.
Go ahead and roll an athletics or dodge, Album, whichever you prefer. As you run away, the clown reaches out, but you're able to dodge out of the way of him. And you stumble a little bit. It's not your most elegant of movement. You kind of bump off a Vessel here or there, but you manage to run to the back of the room, through the door, underneath the light, and into the next room. What are the two of you
try and
doing?
play keep away?
Yeah,
Running until it's our turn.
Okay.
just trailing these openings until I get a swig.
Okay, you go inside this next room and you look, and there's that small little cut in the wall where the dumbwaiter window is sort of there. You look behind and you watch as the height of the clown is now even bigger. It climbed up into the previous room. It was taller than a man, and now as it's kind of getting up close to that's about 8 foot tall cut into the wall, you can see as it just sort of condenses down and squeezes through and then erupts even bigger now. Still these rigid movements. It has to be 12, 13 feet tall at this point, shuffling and moving, swiping randomly out, trying to grasp, and it seems to be chasing after Album. Album, make a luck roll.
Three.
You look down and you can see that the liquid has filled once more. And you feel like now's as good a time as any. If you wanted to swig.
Yeah, I'll take a drink.
You go ahead and roll sand.
Okay. Success.
Okay. I mean, you've seen it before. You've seen what was happening. This is a serious situation. You're keeping your cool. And you, again, similar to Chelsea, you just feel like this strange numbness just begin to overtake you as if it's moving out towards the edge of your hands. Up ahead, Fawn, Vessel, as you're looking through this dumbwaiter room, you can see what looks like this, almost like a cavern. Like you see rocky walls all of a sudden where there once was just sort of black brick. It's just sort of this almost brownish black rockiness, and you can see at the very far end, maybe 30 feet ahead, there's this tear in the rock, this small slit that's probably wide enough for you to kind of just sort of shuffle past. And strangely enough, despite it being this sort of dusty, rocky passageway, there you see like hanging down from the darkness above, you don't even see the rooftop of it, is this light bulb that's giving off this light. Album, as you kind of swig, you look around and you kind of look back, and there's the clown itself. You look off to your right, and you can see almost like a projector's image showing up on the wall of like kind of darkness to your right, and you can see that it becomes more crystal clear, and you see like this dingy gray cafeteria that's kind of you know instinctively it's like inaccessible. It's just this huge black gulf between you and it. And inside this cafeteria, this balding, overweight man wearing like these wireframe glasses in a prison outfit is watching as you all are running past. They're standing next to what looks like this oversized prop door that you all saw, or some of you did, inside of room 616. And he just kind of holds up a hand and waves. What do you guys want to do as the clown kind of comes and reaches out? You're still holding on to it, Album. You know that you're going to disappear, but you recognize that when Chelsea did it, there was a delay. Like, there was a delay. It didn't instantly happen when you drank.
Our Album, our Fawn or Vessel nearby? Like
Yeah, all three of you are... yeah, you can attempt to throw.
Yeah, I want to throw the thermos and say, like, drink fast. He wants this.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a Dex times 5. Who are you throwing it to, I should say?
I will throw it to Vessel.
Okay. Roll a Dex times 5, Vessel.
I'm going to try re-rolling it. Oh,
Or
sorry.
Album. Sorry. I meant Album. No, you did it right. You did it right. You did it right.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry.
I'll use one of the re-rolls then.
Okay.
Was I supposed to roll?
No, you're fine.
Oh,
Didn't
Because
make a difference.
because
I
he's
failed both
throwing it, I'm gonna have it be him to do it because he's the one who's got to throw it. Okay, so the thing again falls down, clatters, thankfully doesn't seem to shatter, and just begins rolling around in the darkness. The clown is shuffling immediately towards it. What are you doing then, Album and Fawn?
I'll try to collect it, make sure it doesn't get back
Okay.
to the clown.
As you hustle over towards it and reach down to grab it, the clown reaches out and touches you, and you feel this like just intense coldness kind of overtake the spot where it touches you. Vessel, what are you doing?
Just keep looking forward. Hopefully,
Okay.
just keep distance.
All right. So you move forward into like the cavern hallway there, and you're moving towards the sort of seam in the rock. You move out of the room. Still in this room, like by the dumbwaiter area, we've got Album and we've got Fawn. Fawn, you're diving after this rolling canister. Album, you're feeling that tingle kind of begin to overwhelm you. And as you do, you disappear. You reach down and try to grab it, Fawn. Go ahead and roll. You can roll either athletics roll Dex times 5. Hang on a sec.
Success 13 under 70.
Okay, you reach down and you grab it, and now roll athletics or dodge. This is contested as the clown tries to reach out at you.
That's a fail.
Okay.
I'll use one of the rerolls that we've got left.
Okay. Just remember, one reroll is seen, so if you've used one, that's it.
I
I'm saying
don't
not to
think
do
I
it. I just
have.
want to remind everybody.
Yeah, I don't think I have.
Okay.
Oh gosh, it's so low. It's a 36. I'll do it. Success,
Okay.
15 under 36.
As the clown reaches out to try to grab you, you manage at the last second to just roll your old woman body crinkling, cracking as you do, and you stand up and manage to slip through the dumbwaiter and into the hallway or the passageway where the kind of the rocky walls are and that split seam is. You look around, and as you do, you can see that the most bizarre thing as you look back into the room that you just dove out of, you can see that there's these backdrops that are suddenly emerging from the darkness. And they're stacked against these walls of black, and some appear to be utterly precise reconstructions of your home. You can see your dining room, the window that looks out onto the road where you saw the various kids playing. As the ice cream truck arrived, you can see your bedroom, you can see your comforter, you can see the colorings of your walls, everything perfectly painted on these backdrops. Roll sand, please.
Oh, goodness. That is a failure, 78 over 16.
Roll a d4.
Oh, wrong one.
I can barely hear the music, but it's got my pulse.
Ooh.
Okay. You can turn that up, you have control of it.
I know,
Of your-
but I don't want to.
Okay. So the two of you now, Vessel and Fawn, are now in this like rocky hallway. Vessel, you're looking forward and you can see through that like seam in the wall, that rocky seam in the wall, you can see a light bulb is hanging. And once again, when you look forward, you can see this sort of circular doorway, almost like a bank vault without the actual door itself. It's just metallic circular ring. You see this kind of looks like some kind of dark teal colored paint that's surrounding it and that rusty metal. And this light bulb is just hanging down from it as this moments ago wasn't here. The clown, meanwhile, shambles into this rocky hallway. And you can see as they do, like the dumbwaiter was fairly small. It was like maybe 3 by 3. And this figure just squeezes down into this tiny, almost spider-like crunch, and then reaches this long, gangly arm in this crooked fashion, and another long, gangly arm, its legs, and then pulls itself out. And as it stands more and more erect, you start looking up further and further into the sky where this like just sort of black roof of the cavern is, and the clown just goes taller and taller. It's nearing 20 feet tall at this point. What do the two of you want to do?
I'll shout, come on this way, and head towards that light bulb, the hole in the wall.
Okay.
And Fawn's going to run, and she's going to be kind of looking in the thermos to see if it's refilling.
Okay, go ahead and make your test. Athletics or dodge.
Okay. And by the way, for that D4, I take those 2 points of sand.
From the unnatural, yep.
Okay.
And then roll a dodge or athletics test. And I'm rolling terrible for this clown.
38.
You manage to avoid once more the groping hand of this clown. You look around as you step inside, and you can see that like off to your left, on what should have been this rocky tunnel, and as you're sliding through that kind of the crease in the wall, you see like this vista is kind of opened up to the side, and you can see what looks like the ground floor of a hotel that's like filled with people suddenly. The front doors are flanked by these golden gargoyles. The hotel is lit up like a diorama, yet everything in it appears to be real. People seem to be moving and around with great regularity. You can see that the sign above the front desk reads Hotel Broadlebin. Roll a sand.
Oh, gosh. I knew that's what I was going to say. Bale, 25 over 15.
Roll a d4.
Oh, gosh. 1.
1 point of sand. As the clown kind of moves in, you look down, roll a luck test. Fawn, as you look at the canister to see, and you think there's enough in here that you could potentially drink. So you open and you down it.
Yeah.
Okay. Roll sand.
Oh my gosh.
You're drinking liquid that has been drained out of the eye of your friend, out of all these other people, and now you're going to
Failure
drink it.
69 over 13.
Roll a d4.
Just so everyone knows, I'm down to 13, Sam.
I know.
I know. I'm stressed. Okay, 1.
12.
When they get down to 0, Snail, it's getting close. Okay, you drink it and you feel this tingling warmth begin to like cascade all over you, and you know that in mere moments you're going to disappear.
So she's gonna kind of whisper shout to Vessel to throw it to him.
Okay, so you're gonna throw it over to him. Okay, you guys are being very crazy with this canister. Roll your dex times 5.
Scared. 4 under 70.
You guys are rolling ridiculously good, but you're out of stuff. So you throw. You managed to throw it perfectly on target towards old agent Vessel. Vessel, roll athletics or dodge.
Success.
You reach up, you catch it, but as you bring it down into your cradle arms, you look over and you can see the clown now is right there and is kind of reaching their hand down on you. As you catch it, you look around and you can see as you look directly ahead to the next room, off to the side, there's a bedroom that suddenly is manifesting within the darkness. You see this older couple is lying in bed. The room is kind of closed off by this wall sliding on tracks across it. The woman suddenly sits up in bed and shrieks, "He's coming for my baby, Tom! Stop him!" Go ahead and roll sand. Okay,
Good
you're
success.
good. Go ahead and roll alertness too while you're at it. You
Also
guys are
success?
ridiculous with your rolls. The man looks familiar to you. Younger than the picture you saw of him, but nonetheless familiar. Looks very, very similar to Thomas Wright. You saw a picture of Thomas Wright and his wife, the parents of Abigail Wright, when you were searching around in Abigail Wright's apartment back in 1995. And this looks like the two people who were in that photograph. What do you guys want to do? You look forward and you can see that sort of circular hole in what looks like almost like a bank vault. And the clown, which is now almost 30 feet tall, is just looming down, this huge monumental body just kind of reaching, like it almost appears slowly, but the hand's so long, the arm is so long and gangly, it's closing in on Vessel at this point.
Ron's just gonna yell to, kind of whisper yell to Vessel, just keep going. And just she's gonna keep running, but waiting for herself to not be
Like
there
the
anymore.
others, they like the time this drink.
Okay. Do you want to stay in this room? Or do you want to move?
Oh no, I'm gonna keep moving.
Okay. So you move to the next room. Roll athletics or dodge as you continue to run and try to avoid this. Holy crap, that was
Failure.
close.
Oh man.
Fawn, you look as you watch Vessel try to kind of bend down and climb through that circular hole in the wall, kind of diving into the vault. And right as you feel yourself begin to dematerialize, you see the clown reach out and grab him firmly on the shoulder. Long, I need you to roll a D100.
Day 100. I got a 58.
Okay. You feel these small, like pustules begin to form kind of around your face. These wounds begin to open, and you feel something kind of spilling out. You kind of reach out like instinctively just touch it as like this cut in your cheek opens up, and you think what might have been blood. It is not. It's just like this much brighter, lighter looking fluid as Patsu begins weeping out of these suppurating wounds all around your body now. Go ahead and roll a luck test. And you are not able to get into the next room.
Oh no. Vessel.
You look down, Vessel, at this canister, and it's not refilled enough. You look up, and you can see as you do, you lock eyes for a moment with Fawn, and then she disappears. Behind her, you can see what actually appears right where she was against the darkened shadowy wall. You can see it almost looks like you're viewing like a hotel room, like through a bathroom. And you recognize it as you kind of stare at it very briefly as the missing room. And you can see there's a group of people that are standing around the wet body of a woman that's sprawled on the ground, and her head has been obviously completely and utterly pulped by gunfire, exploded on the ground like some kind of melon. As you're kind of trying to squeeze through into this door, they all look up and their eyes lock with yours. Roll sand.
69 failure.
Roll a d4.
Oh my gosh.
Take 3
Three
points of
sand.
sanity from the unnatural.
Wow.
The clown is right on top of you. Manage to kind of grab you by the shoulder. You shrug it off. Do you try to move to the next room?
Yes, please.
Please roll athletics or dodge.
Success.
You try to get through, but he's just grown so huge, 30 feet tall at least now. And his huge scooping hand whips down in front of you, kind of grabs you, or at the very least blocks you. You manage to dodge out of the way, but the hand just blocks the path forward. You shift off to the left. You look down at the canister. Roll luck. And you can see that the liquid has reformed. You unscrew it, take your swig, roll sand.
Failure on sand.
Roll a d4. Some of the patsu coming down from your cheek just kind of gets into the corners of your mouth, but you do manage to
After I drink it, can I break the canister?
What's that?
Can I break the canister after I drink it?
You certainly can. On your next turn. I'm sorry, I was just reading something.
Yeah,
Let me make sure I got it right. Okay, I think I've done it right. I thought I made a terrible mistake, but looks like I'm okay. So you start drinking it, and you can feel again that sort of warmth cascade throughout your body a bit. But the guy's like still right here. You look around, and the hand moves away once more. The door is kind of open, and you can see this like dark, uncrossable expanse that starts to erupt in front of you. Off to the left, you see a light bulb suddenly turn on, and what looks like some sort of like conveyor belt flaps at an airport sort of begin to move almost like in the wind, lighting kind of the way forward. Off to the right, you can see what looks like a ballroom and hundreds of masked revelers. And standing alone off to the side, you see a woman in a blue dress. She's wearing a cat mask. She notices you. She sees you. You can see the face look right at you, and she begins to sort of beckon at you, kind of wave at you.
I'll run towards it then.
As you do, like the cat mask begins to sort of slip, and you notice it's Abigail Wright. Roll sand.
Failure.
Roll a d4.
4.
Oh my gosh.
And
Where's
then
your Santa?
please roll
That's 10 now.
athletic. Please roll athletics or dodge.
Success on that.
Okay. Oh my god. As you try to chase after her, you feel a hand press down onto your back. And as you do, the darkness kind of envelops Abigail Wright's image once more, and she disappears. I need you to roll a very important D100.
45.
As you get swung around, you look up and you see like about 33, 34 foot tall clown bending over, like reaching down. You throw the canister, and as they're about to kind of to sort of drop what looks like this large second hand on top of you, the exploding canister kind of takes their interest. Their head whips right back, and you can see that they begin to like seep down with this strange geometric face, and tries to like extend this long paper tongue right at your cheek where the wounds are seeping that kind of patsu coming down. And as they do, poof, you disappear.
What?
Everybody okay?
No, no.
Just
not
a
at all.
clown that seems to get more and more tall.
Bale said it was going to be a long time if we didn't make this play. 20 years.
You okay? Everyone all
Yeah,
right?
no, I'm fine.
Take
Cool.
a deep breath.
Hanging in there.
All right. Let me just switch over really quick. That was intense. I'll tell you what could have happened before we
It
close.
seems like it was just a sand beating. It just wanted to beat us
Oh,
into
yeah.
insanity.
All of you, one by one, you wake up. You look around. You see sunlight for the first time in who knows how long. You're in an empty house. It's dusty. It looks fairly old, empty, like it hasn't been used in a while. You can see that there's all these doors and windows, but whenever you go up to one, it seems locked. You looked, and you see each other. You look over at Vessel, and he's got just these wounds that are erupted all over his face. This painful, like blisters have exploded. And you can see that there is a seal etched into the wooden floor of the room that you're woke in. Both Fawn and Chelsea, you would recognize it as the mark of Malphus, a demon found in the Ars Goetia. It's described as the great prince of hell, governing 40 legions of demons. Malphus builds houses, high towers, and strongholds. He can destroy enemies, thoughts, and desires. He can give good familiars, and quickly bring artificers together from all places around the world. What do you guys do?
So we're trying to open doors and the doors are locked, and then we see this seal on the floor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're just locked. Though. They're just locked. They're just windows and doors. They look old.
Is there anything in the room that we can use to try to?
Yeah, I mean, there's like, again, it looks like an
Mess with the
abandoned
locks.
house or a house that's not been used a while. I mean, Vessel, you're probably certain that if you just lay a shoulder into one of these doors, you can probably pop it off the hinges, or just, someone could put a boot up against a window and probably knock it open. Like the sunlight's coming through. It's not like you can't see outside. It's just there. Like when you go up and try to open them naturally, they just seem locked. Like someone has sealed them so that people can't come inside, and you guys have just materialized inside. So it's less about like you feel trapped. Now,
I'll just break a window open though.
okay. I'm pretty sure. How many of you lost 5+ sanity at any point in a single roll throughout the course of our time
I think I rolled
inside?
4 at once at most.
Okay.
Yeah, most was 4.
All right.
I haven't.
All right. All right. I don't think any temporary insanities are going to play out other than what you all want to role play yourself. But you all sit up. You all see each other. You're there. You look around. You crack open a window with your boot. As you're looking out, you suddenly hear something, Fawn. You hear
What do I
something
hear?
that is very familiar to you at this point. As the sound of an ice cream truck
Oh.
begins to once more kind of spread around into the area. As Vessel's staring outside, as Chelsea is looking down at this seal, as Album is kind of making sense of doing some, whatever calculations or breathing techniques he might be doing. You notice, Fawn, that outside the window, you can see like one of the broken pieces of glass is like laying against a tree outside. And in the reflection, you can see like out in what looks like a kind of a side kind of garage, the side of a garage. You can see the Clockwork Child. It's just like kind of sitting there and kind of wobbling along the side of the house. And you notice that it's holding what looks like a folded piece of paper in one of its hands, as if it's just sort of waiting for something. No one else notices this immediately. No one else hears the dirge. It's just you.
She'll turn around to Vessel, who probably would have been close to the window because he just kind of broke it, and say, "Help me out. I've gotta get that from her.
Help you out with the what?
Just help me out the window."
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Lift her up.
You help her out the window. You step outside the window, and the minute you turned around to talk to Vessel, instantly the ice cream truck sound went away. The little dirge that plays. But when you climb outside and you look over, you do see that the note that the Clockwork Child was holding is laying on the ground. Go ahead and roll sand.
Oh no. Failure.
Okay, roll a d4. Take 3 points of sand
puts
from
me
the
at
unnatural.
another breaking point.
Okay, good to know.
And
You actually would have gotten some sanity when you pop through, so you won't actually be at your breaking point yet. Like one getting out of there gives you sanity back, but we'll roll that after.
Okay.
So you pick up the note, and it's this
Yes, I do.
thick, cream-colored stationery that's folded in 3 places, and the front reads "Hotel Brothel Bin" in an Art Deco font. There's no street address, and on the back, beneath your name, written in fancy script in red ink, is a short poem. Find J.C. Lynn's at Hotel Brothel Bin. Go now. Find the hotel, the labyrinth, the author, his bottle, the city, the lake, its shadow, the battle, then the party, the dance, the girl in blue, the one singing, "Nothing is true except out is through." Love and kisses, Abby. And that's where we're going to end part 2 of Impossible Landscapes.
oh my gosh.
What the fuck?
I am so sad that I didn't get one of you with that fucking clown.
It was
Yeah,
so
my God.
close. Oh my
That-
gosh.
That clown, Jesus.
Every
There
single
was-
one seemed
oh,
so
God.
close.
So, oh geez, I rolled some really horrible rolls too. I rolled in the 90 a couple times. So I'll peel the curtain back. Normally, like we'll say this for the end, but it's fun to talk about now. Had any of you when Long was doing those D100 rolls that I said were really important, if you would have
Mhm.
rolled 15 or under, that was a lethality check.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, wow.
He would have literally exploded into Patsu. Damn it, Long. Why didn't you roll a 1 to 15? It would have been good for the stream. What's wrong with you? Come on, buddy.
Oh
Okay.
my gosh.
So that is it for part 2. Just for part 2, there's still 2 more parts to go. That's the crazy thing, is that we're literally at the midway point. It took a little longer than we probably thought, but that's fine. We're still new to Delta Green-ish, sort of.
I gotta ask Jeff. Fawn looks down. Is she wearing slippers?
No, you guys actually have
friggin'
your clothes back on, and anything that you all like were carrying before, books, guns, anything you might have recovered from the Samagino household, like, you know, that kind of stuff, you have. Yeah. So that is the end of part 2. We still have 2 more parts to go. This is the midway point. We are going to be back, I think, with Delta Green. We're going to take a small break for just to reset, give me some extra time to prep up part 3, as it just gets crazier and harder and stranger from here. Their sanity is very low. They do get some back.
Not that much.
Not that much.
I was about to
But,
say we're losing like 4 to 6. We're rolling d4s and 6, and I was reading the handbook after I dissolved, and I'm like, oh cool. If I roll a luck test, I get maybe 4.
Yeah. Yeah. So okay. So yeah. Let's see. Other things we're doing. We're off tomorrow. Normally we play on Saturdays, but we're taking tomorrow off. We'll be back next Saturday as we start our Blades in the Dark run. So come check that out. Next Friday, probably a one shot of something, and in place of Delta Green. This coming Monday, in a few days, you can watch us playing Ultraviolet Grasslands. So come check that out. And then also, you can always check me out over on Defenders of Cobalt sometimes, usually on Wednesdays. Tuesdays, I'm on Garblight Games, all that kind of stuff. So thank you for all of you who hung out. Thank you for those of you who threw us Prime subs and some bits. You certainly, I'm not sure if I think you saved some people, because there were some rerolls that were pretty essential there.
Mhm.
So definitely that has helped with the sturdiness. These the rerolls have helped you all survive, but you all are, it's just a matter of time. Like, you're going down at some point, but that's all
I
good.
know.
So but anyway, thank you for everyone who hung out and watch. We're gonna go ahead and raid somebody. Let's see who might be up. Is Chuck not up with the Defenders?
Defenders
Oh, there they are.
up, and so is Steam Steal and Murder.
All right. Oh, well, I already started it for Defenders. My bad. I should have done it to Bert, who would have probably then done it to Chuck. My bad. Anyway, our friends are running some looks like old school essentials. So follow the raid, and we'll catch you next time. So bye-bye.